Welcome to the Managing Drought in the Southern Plains webinar series. Today we have a short briefing describing drought conditions in our region. This is brought to you by the Southern Climate Impacts Planning Program, NIDIS, NOAA, and the National Drought Mitigation Center. It is part of an ongoing webinar series in which we have weekly and monthly briefings, and we have our next full webinar on Thursday, October 11th. What's changed in the last week since our last briefing is that we've had some rains in the east associated with several cold fronts. The monsoon rains in the southwest have ended. It seems that the season is over. And we've seen some improvement in the east, a little bit of drier up in the northern plains, and a little change in our own region. We have had some rainfall since the Drought Monitor was released in Oklahoma and Kansas, and that seems to be pushing into Texas. So look for some changes in the coming weeks there. The Drought Monitor map this week looks much the same as it did the last week. A little bit of improvement off to the east and a little bit worse up into Minnesota and North Dakota. Elsewhere, there's been very little change within this region, with the core of the exceptional and extreme drought still entrenched across from Oklahoma to Nebraska and surrounding areas. Here in the southern plains, we can see the drought in Oklahoma and remaining in at least western Arkansas, where they did not get the benefit of the Isaac rains, and mixed picture in Texas with still some pockets of extreme drought. As we look further north, we can see the extreme and exceptional drought, especially in western Kansas and across much of Nebraska and into the Rocky Mountains. As we look at the causes behind this, we can see some rainfall that has happened in the short term has brought improvement across Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, and points eastward from there, and shows up in the 30-day images on the left side. On the right side, though, we can see year-to-date from north of Louisiana along the Mississippi River still showing extreme departures from normal that still have to be cured. The temperatures this week have been pretty moderate, with a cool air entrenched across the eastern United States and warm air slipping into West Texas and Oklahoma, with temperatures running about 6 degrees above normal in that part and 6 degrees below normal around towards Indiana. As we look at the next few days coming up, we can see rainfall moving further southward as the front pushes in, with Texas looking like they're going to pick up quite a bit of rain in the next several days. And temperature patterns should be pretty much near normal across the whole southern plains, a little bit warmer out in the western states. Looking beyond that into the next week, we can see cool air across the north and kind of pushing down into our region with some cool weather into Oklahoma, and pretty dry pattern though across Texas, Louisiana, and a little bit more rain along the east coast. As we look into the next several months, October through December, this is the product is still the same as last week, has not yet been updated. It's showing that warm El Nino signal across the northern plains, and a wet pattern along the Gulf Coast, also typical of La Nina. With the dry pattern in the northwest, it's expected that that will lead to some drought development, filling in much of the western United States with drought there, and continued rains towards the east, bringing some continued improvement in Texas, and even getting into eastern Oklahoma and much of Arkansas looks better. As always, these recordings and other resources are posted on the SCIP YouTube channel, as well as the SCIP website and many other places. The drought portal, drought.gov, has much of this information as well. We encourage you to be in touch with us through the Drought Impact Reporter or contacting your state climatologist or us. We thank you for your participation and look forward to talking with you in the